What's up and welcome back to another video, guys. Today I want to go over every single set that's going to be releasing on May 1st of 2025. We have information about every single set as well as some leaked set images and information regarding the May 4th promo. So without further ado, let's get right on into this video. First set that I want to talk about today is set 75399, the U-Wing, based on Andor with 594 pieces, releasing for $69.99. It's going to have 4 minifigures being Daedra, K2SO, Cassian Andor, and an Imperial Trooper. Now, images have actually already leaked of this set. I have a video going in more depth about everything that we know about it, so I'll leave that linked in the description if you want some more information about this set, but it is shaping up to be pretty good. I think a lot of people are disappointed with how the build is quite downsized from the previous model, but I think that there is still some area for LEGO to come through with this one. We haven't seen like the full different angles, so I'm hoping it looks a little bit better from the front. I think the minifigure lineup is very good, and the build leaves a lot to be desired. Next up, we have some BrickHeadz, the first being set 40795, the Pilot Luke BrickHeadz, coming in at 148 pieces for $9.99. I think this should be done pretty well. I'm excited to see how they go about the helmet. I think that there is this really the make or break area here, and I'm curious to see if it's going to have that translucent visor or if it's just going to be left blank. I hope it does, and I think that this could be a very cool one. Next, we have the more exciting BrickHead, in my opinion, being 40796, the Revenge of the Sith BrickHead pack, coming in at 656 pieces, likely based off of the previous multi-pack, so we can assume that we're going to be getting 5 different characters for about $49.99. Now, we don't know who's going to be included yet, but if I had to guess, I would say Anakin, Obi-Wan, Padme, R2, and Palpatine. However, I think this would be really cool to get some different characters. Personally, I would love to see General Grievous. I think he would make such a cool BrickHead, and I really hope that he is included in there. However, I do think that LEGO is going to go with the 5 likely, but let me know down below in the comments who you want to see included in this BrickHead pack. Next, we have the first of many Jango Fett related sets in 2025, being set 75408, the Jango Fett's helmet, with 616 pieces releasing for $69.99. This is going to be very similar to Boba Fett's helmet with just the color change, as their helmets are pretty much identical, give or take a few different details and the color scheme, and it's going to be in scale with the previous Boba Fett and the Mandalorian's helmet. I think that all 3 of these are going to look great on display, and personally, I'm not a huge fan of the helmet sets, but I think this should be pretty cool. I think there's a lot of people that are very excited to see this set who do like to collect the helmet sets, so I think it is definitely a very good inclusion and addition to the helmet series. Next up, we have the most disappointing set on this list for me, being set 75407, the buildable LEGO Star Wars logo. With 650 pieces releasing for $59.99, there's going to be no minifigures in this set, which is kind of sad looking over to Marvel, who also have already gotten their buildable logo, which had a plethora of minifigures. It definitely would bring that selling point up, but for $60, I don't really see myself going out to purchase this one. Yes, there's a pretty good price per piece, but it's not something that I'm incredibly interested in, but I am excited to see how LEGO goes about building this, and maybe if there are any changes to this in the future if they throw in a minifigure. However, it is definitely not looking likely. I think there aren't going to be any minifigures for this set. Next up is set 75416, the buildable chopper, coming in at 1,000 pieces, retailing for $99.99. This is going to be in scale with R2 and C-3PO, and it's going to have some different functions, and I'm very excited to see that, being a different little wobble function like you see in the show, as well as different folding arms like the fold out that he also has. Now, I'm actually very excited to see this. I think Chopper is a very cool droid, and I think that the droid sets that LEGO have been doing recently have turned out really good, and I think this will be no different. Coming in at 1,000 pieces, I think there's going to be some great detail, and it is also going to have that little display plaque as well as a Chopper minifigure. Now, I'm assuming that this is going to be based off of the Ahsoka show, not Star Wars Rebels, which is a little disappointing for some people, especially given that Chopper minifigure that people see from Ahsoka, they aren't as big as a fan as the one from Star Wars Rebels, but I think that this set will be pretty good, and I'm excited to see how LEGO goes about building this one. Next up, we have 2 sets to go alongside the 10th anniversary of The Force Awakens. The first being set 75415, the Kylo Ren's helmet, coming in at $69.99 with 529 pieces. I'm actually very excited to see Kylo Ren's helmet. I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of the sequels, but I think Kylo Ren is by far the best character from the sequels, and I think this helmet has such a cool design. Now, I will say, I think it's a pretty odd shape, so I'm very curious to see how LEGO goes about building this one. I think that it's one that could look really, really good and be one of the best helmet sets, or it could also be very, very bad and be one of the worst helmet sets. It really comes down to this build and how they're able to go about it. Now, personally, I would love to see it with, the different cracks and welded back together with all of the red. However, that wouldn't really make sense for the movie, and it's also just not something that I think LEGO would be able to do with all of the different red cracking detail. I think that would be too hard, and I think it's just going to be the base helmet, with the different little black and gray markings. So I think that will look very, very cool, and I'm excited to see this one. Next up is at 75406, the mini-scale Kylo Ren shuttle, coming in at 386 pieces for $69.99. This was originally going to release on January 1st, but then it got pushed back to go alongside the other Kylo Ren sets, and I think this one is pretty expensive. Coming in at $70 I think is insane. I already think that mini-scale sets are a bit overpriced. They're just not my cup of tea, but I think that this one, is also pretty overpriced just based on that price per piece. I think LEGO can definitely, make it worth it if they use bigger pieces and make the model very, very good. However, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the mini scale set, so I'm very skeptical of if LEGO is going to be able to make this one worth the $70. However, I hope they do. I think Kylo Ren has a very cool ship, and I'm excited to see how LEGO goes about building this one. Our last and maybe the most hyped set of all of May 1st being set 75409, the UCS Jango Fett Slave 1, coming in at $299.99 with 2,970 pieces. I think first off, this is a pretty good price per piece. I know the $300 is a big increase versus what people thought originally that it was going to be $240, but with 2,970 pieces, you can't be too mad about that. Now, there are only going to be 2 minifigures in this set, with Jango Fett, which is going to have the high detailing with leg and arm printing, which I think will look very, very good, and I'm excited to see this one, as well as a young Boba Fett. I think this young Boba Fett is going to be pretty much similar to all of the other ones. Yes, it would be really cool to get some dual molded legs on this guy. However, I just don't think that that's something that LEGO is going to do. However, I hope they do, given that it is a UCS set. I think we deserve that UCS treatment, and it doesn't really hurt to give him some dual molded legs, because I think that would look very, very good. Now, this is going to be very similar in size to the previous UCS Slave 1 that we got in 2015. However, it has 1,000 more pieces, well, just about, so it should have some very good details that I'm very excited to see. Now, LEGO actually filed some sort of patent for the windscreen piece, so we already have images of that, so I'll put it up, and I think that this definitely shows that we are going to be very similar in size, because, they normally build the sets around the windscreen piece, so I'm very excited to see this one. I think it's going to be a great model, very near minifig, if not minifig scale, like the previous one, and I think it'll be great. I do think that there is some opportunity for another minifigure, however, it's something that LEGO chose not to do. Would have been cool to have gotten a Canamoan, maybe an Obi-Wan, or even a casual version of Jango Fett. Would have been super sick. However, just based on the leaks, we're not going to be getting that third minifigure, which is a little disappointing looking toward the previous Slave one that had a slew of different minifigures. Would have been nice to have gotten a third. However, I'm still happy with how this one's shaping up. I think the build is going to be great, and I can't wait to see this one. Lastly, also releasing on May 4th, not sets for individual sale, but we have the May 4th promos for 2025. Now, I did make a full in-depth video about this, and I'll leave a link to that in the description if you want to check that out, but I will briefly analyze over them. The first one being a purchase of $40 and plus, you would get a poly bag. Now, a lot of people think that this is going to either be a poly bag based on Revenge of the Sith that we have not yet seen images or leaks of yet that LEGO is going to release, and others think that it is just going to be the Millennium Falcon that already released. Now, I really hope it's not the Millennium Falcon, just because I think that poly bag is pretty bad, especially with the non-printed windscreen, and I really hope that LEGO makes a new poly bag for this, because there was a little bit of a leak and rumor going around that it is going to have 81 pieces and be based off of Revenge of the Sith, and I thought that it was possible that it could be an Interceptor or an ARC 170. However, I do 100% believe that LEGO would just, do the Millennium Falcon. That's what they did in the last year with the AAT poly bag. However, I really hope they don't do this and they make a new poly bag for the promo. Second promo is going to be with a purchase of $90 or more, and it's going to be a charm. We don't really know any other information regarding that. However, I can assume that it's going to be very, very similar to the previous kind of charms that we got with those coins. Maybe something different, maybe like the patches that we got with the UCS Venator. This is one that a lot of people aren't really big fans of, but I think there's definitely an opportunity for LEGO to do something pretty cool here, and I'm excited to see what they end up doing. And lastly, the big May 4th promo with a purchase of $160 plus, we have sets 40765 with 190 pieces and 3 minifigures. Now, there's nothing 100% confirmed with this yet, but I do have a video, speculating on what it could be. Personally, I think some of the biggest options that we could see from LEGO are some sort of, the duel of the heroes with Anakin versus Obi-Wan, which, the third minifigure would be some type of lava droid that they stand on top of. Could also be maybe like a Palpatine's arrest, or it could also be based off of the Force Awakens or something like that. I'm not really sure yet. Like I said, I have a whole video on different speculations and what we could see, so if you're interested in that, make sure to check it out. But I am very excited to see what LEGO ends up doing for this, and I think this is shaping up to be one of the best promos in recent years. I know promos for May 4th have been slipping from LEGO recently, but I think last year with the Trade Federation Troop Carrier, they set the bar really high, and I'm hoping that they can live up to that hype in this year, and I'm very excited to see what they end up doing. That's going to do it for every leak for the sets coming out on May 1st. I think this is a very, very cool wave. Let me know down below in the comments what you're most excited for and what you want to see this May 4th promo to shape up to be. And I will be having another video coming out regarding the summer waves that are also just coming around. We have some more information regarding them. So I will be making a video very soon. So if you want to see that, make sure to subscribe and like this video, and you'll be the first to know about any new leaks and rumors that come to me. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe. Drew signing out.